That is all. The court is adjourned. What? Did someone just say objection? It wasn't Von Karma. Wait, but that means... No. Edgeworth. Your Honor, I object to your judgment. No, you don't. Shut up. I'm not innocent at all. As we have heard, Yumiko killed Robert Hammond in revenge. But revenge for what? Nick? Edgeworth is trying to confess. He's going to say he's guilty. He's going to tell him he was a murderer in the DL6 incident. He's going to tell him he killed his own dad. What should I do? Sorry, Edgeworth. We're not going to let you do that. The judgment has already been passed. I object to Edgeworth's outburst. Didn't something like this happen yesterday, too? I believe a certain witness raised an objection after a guilty verdict was passed. You must hear this new statement. Well, you must hear Miles Edgeworth. He's right. You have a duty to hear Mr. Edgeworth out. Ugh. For 15 years, I had a reoccurring dream. A nightmare. It's only a nightmare. That's what I told myself. But now I know it wasn't a dream. Yumiko wasn't the killer. You mean in the incident where your father died? From the distance of the shot, it wasn't suicide either. Everything was clear as day. The murderer, the criminal in the DL6 incident, it was me. Your Honor, I confess my guilt. I am guilty for DL6, the statute of limitations which runs out today. The culprit is me! Edgeworth, why? We were this close. Order! This is certainly unexpected. The defendant declared innocent is confessing to a different crime. A crime for which the statute of limitations runs out today. I'm not really sure how I should deal with this. Bah, it's obvious. We hold a trial, right here, right now. We try this man for his crime of 15 years ago. What the heck is that? I would like to take a 5-minute recess. During this time, I will consider the appropriate action to take. Court is adjourned. Thanks, Edgeworth. We were so close to getting you declared innocent, but whatever. We can't change what happened now. So what's our next move? I'm sorry, Wright. I just wasted all your effort. Mr. Edgeworth, I just don't believe it, pal. I mean, you killed your dad? I didn't want to believe it myself, Detective. But it's the truth. I deserve to be punished. Murder is a murder, no matter what the circumstances. This is crazy! Just crazy! Nick, what are you doing? Huh? Oh, I was just reading through the court record once more. I'm getting your case ready. Your case for what? Huh? Isn't it obvious? I'm going to prove that Miles Edgeworth is innocent. What are you talking about, pal? He just admitted to it. He confessed that he did it. In court. I'm sorry, Edgeworth, but I don't believe your nightmare. What? It's just a dream. It's not real. The truth is right here in this court record. In any case, tighten your belts. The real fight is just beginning. I'll prove you're innocent. Trust me. Right. Alright then. Let's do this. Then, I would like to resume our trial. Judge, Miles Edgeworth has admitted his own guilt. He has confessed his crime. Let us begin by hearing his testimony. Then, though pointless, let the defense do their cross-examining. The statute of limitations under the DL6 incident runs out today. Though it's unconventional for me, I'd like to run this one by the book. I see. Does the defense have any objections? No, we don't, Your Honor. Karma. Yeah. He's good, I'll give him that. Very well. So Miles Edgeworth take the stand? Will the witness state his name and profession? You should know that you... is this farce really necessary? Miles Edgeworth, I am a prosecuting attorney. Mr. Edgeworth, 15 years ago, you mistakenly killed your father, Gregory Edgeworth. Is this correct? It is correct. Then testify about this matter to the court. Really now? Maya? Alright. That day, I had gone to the courtroom to observe one of my father's trials. As we went to leave, an earthquake struck, trapping us in the elevator. My father, Mr. Yogi, and Mr. Yogi lost their composure and began to argue. Just then, something heavy fell at my feet. I picked it up and threw it at Mr. Yogi. I wanted them to stop fighting. A moment later, there was a single gunshot, and then a scream. It was a terrible scream. I remember it to this day. That's all. Wow. And until now, you thought this memory was a dream? We were stuck in that elevator for 5 hours. The oxygen in the elevator ran out, and I lost my memory of the events. Bah! The same claim Mr. Yogi has made. Very well. Your cross-examination, please? Alright, let's do this. That noise, that if you heard that noise, that was, a bunch of clothes fell down the stairs. Anyway. Oh, so it was that case. Mr. Von Karma? You were handling that case? It was 15 years ago. I don't remember the details. So, there were 3 people, including yourself, trapped in that elevator. Yes, myself, my father, and Yogi. We were fine at first, but then as time passed and no one came to help, my father and Mr. Yogi lost their composure and began to argue. Oh, wait. What did you do then? I was a 9-year-old boy at the time. What could I do? I was scared, trembling in the corner. But then... Do you know what it was? A pistol. I assume it was the bailiff's, Yanni Yogi's. The safety must have come off when it fell from his hoister. And you picked it up. What happened next? I picked it up and threw it at Mr. Yogi. I wanted them to stop fighting. Did you know it was a pistol when you threw it? I think I knew. I knew it was dangerous. But the air was getting so thick, I panicked. So you're saying that you threw the pistol at Mr. Yogi? I was in a daze. A moment later, there was a single gunshot, and then a scream. The gun fired once? Yes. I think after I threw it, I lost consciousness. Since then, they've echoed in my head every day. The gunshot, and that horrible scream. The scream. Well, I'm just pressing to get all the statements out of him first. To this day? Yes, I can practically hear it now. I doubt I will ever forget that scream as long as I live. And what Phoenix is talking about right here is just, I just wanted to see what he said. He says, a single gunshot was fired. But if we look at this picture, something is wrong here. So there was only one gunshot? Yes, I'm sure of that. I heard the shot, then the scream. Then everything faded. I was unconscious until the rescuers came. I see. Man, it must have been scary. Look at this photograph. This is a photograph of the scene of the crime 15 years ago. There was a clear contradiction between your testimony and this picture. I can see that the victim lying there is Gregory Edgeworth. What do you mean, contradiction? As always, the judge is clueless. Well, the problem here is that Edgeworth only heard one gunshot, and we're all assuming that it hit Gregory Edgeworth, his father, right here. But what is this bullet hole doing in the door is the problem. Or the question, rather. As should be obvious, the contradiction is here. I see a bullet hole in the door. Your Honor, Miles Edgeworth testifies that there was only one gunshot. However, according to this photograph, not one, but two shots were fired. One shot hit the victim, the other hit the elevator door. I ask you then, why did Miles Edgeworth only hear one gunshot? This photograph does seem to confirm a second shot. However, when was the hole in the elevator made? It might have been there before the incident occurred. If it was there before, it has nothing to do with this incident. Mr. Wright, do you have any proof that the bullet hole was caused at the time of the incident? Yes, we do. Your Honor, I think I will be able to show you proof. What? Impossible! Now, Mr. Von Karma, save your surprise till after you've seen the evidence. Very well, Mr. Wright, show us your proof. What do you have that proves the bullet hole in the door was related to this incident? The thing that we've pulled out a lot since the last episode, the DL6 case file! Your Honor, the answer is in this file. You do enjoy dragging out that file, don't you? I don't accept this as evidence, unless you can tell us what page it's on. Really, dude? Which page shows the link between the bullet hole and the DL6 incident? The victim data page. It says quite plainly the murder weapon was fired twice. Miles Edgeworth only heard one gunshot, yet the murder weapon was fired twice. Order! Mr. Wright, what are you driving at? It's simple, Your Honor. At the time of the incident, two shots were fired. One went into Gregory Edgeworth's heart, the other hit the elevator door. Remember that the defendant lost consciousness after the shot he fired rang out. In conclusion, we must agree that the second shot was fired by someone else. Mr. Wright, who could that someone else be? The murderer, of course. I knew I should have stepped in before your wild fantasies got out of hand. Mr. Wright, look once more at the DL6 incident case file. Look closely. Try the case summary page. What you driving at? Look what it's written there. Not a single clue was found on the scene. If the pistol had indeed been fired 2 times, the other bullets would have been discovered on the scene. He does have a point. That second bullet has never been found. Why? Because that second bullet does not exist. The bullet that claimed Gregory Edgeworth's life was the one that was fired by his own son. That is the truth of this matter. The whole truth. It was undoubtedly something else that made that bullet hole. Something other than a bullet makes a bullet hole. Okay, Von Karma. That makes perfect sense. Something other than a bullet made a bullet hole. Mr. Wright has proven one thing to us quite clearly. That the murder weapon was fired twice at the time of the incident. However, as Mr. Von Karma says, the second bullet was not found. It is highly unlikely that the police merely overlooked this second bullet. So all we have is the single bullet fired. I'm afraid I have to... What? Aww. I praise the judge for his wisdom in this matter. How did this happen? I don't believe that the second bullet didn't exist. Was I wrong? Have I been wrong about this whole incident? What are you doing, Nick? Why aren't you raising an objection? I'm sorry, Maya. What? It looks like I was wrong. Nick? If the second bullet wasn't there, then all my conjectures are for nothing. No. But you said you'd do it, Nick. You said you'd get Edgeworth declared innocent. I'm sorry. It's just, when I saw the photograph, I thought that 2 shots had been fired. I was so certain of it. I thought I won. I thought there was another person, someone else who fired the killing shot. But now, I was wrong to think it could be that simple. This case has stood unsolved for 15 years. Nick? Well, it seems that we have finally cleared up this incident. Only 1 bullet was found at the scene of the crime. That shot was fired by Miles Edgeworth. Precisely. I would like to ask one more thing of Miles Edgeworth before passing my verdict. Have you been paying attention to the trial so far? Yes, Your Honor. Do you have any objections? No. Now you don't object! God. So you killed your father though that was not your intention. Yes, I did. Oh no. He's confessing. Very well. The statute of limitations on the murder of Gregory Edgeworth runs out today. Therefore, I must pronounce a verdict on the defendant right here. Right now. Indeed. Does anyone have any objections? I've been here before. It's just like my first day in court. There are so many things I know I should be saying, but my mind's gone blank. I can't find the words. Mr. Wright? I have an objection! Your Honor, I object. Mr. Wright, on what grounds do you object, Nick? I don't know. This case is perfect. Oh no. Ah. Must exist. The second bullet. What? What? What did you just say? Nothing. The second bullet must exist. But where? Someone took it. It seems waiting is not going to produce any answers for Mr. Wright. Wait, Your Honor. The second bullet. It exists. What? But we've just heard proof that it did not exist. I realize that, Your Honor. I'm really grasping here. It's just, someone took it from the scene of the crime. That's what happened. But who? The murderer. The murderer? Then tell us, just who is this murderer? I'm still thinking about that one. So the criminal took the second bullet? Why would he? Huh? First of all, how would he have found it? It's not easy to find a stray bullet, Mr. Wright. Was there some pressing need for the murderer to search for that bullet? Well, he couldn't... Well, the judge is right. It's really hard to find a stray bullet, but... maybe he didn't need it. I don't know. I really have... we have no idea. What's wrong, Mr. Wright? The murderer had no reason to take that bullet. You don't want to admit it, but it's true. Had to take it. Had to take it? The murderer? What does that mean? You're thinking too normal. Think crazy. Don't think why the bullet was taken. Think why the bullet had to be taken. Mr. Wright? Yes, Your Honor. I have no idea what I'm doing. Well, the murderer had no intention of taking the bullet from the scene. But, the murderer had to take that bullet. Had to, Mr. Wright? What do you mean? Well, for instance... For instance, what? Maybe the bullet, hit the murderer? The bullet hit the murderer? Just saying, for instance. I mean, if it hit you, you would have to take it with you, wouldn't you? It's not like you could perform surgery right there. You know. Wait a second. I was just talking off the top of my head, but what if that's really what happened? Let me get this straight. So at the time of the murder, the murderer himself was shot, and he left with the second bullet still inside, thus leaving only one bullet at the scene of the crime? Yes. I guess that's how it would work, yes. But there's a problem with that! The other two people rescued from that elevator, Miles Edgeworth and Noriyuki, were both unharmed. So that would mean the murderer came from outside, yes. We're getting somewhere. The two men fight inside the elevator. Trying to stop them, the boy picks up the pistol at his feet and throws it. The pistol discharges and the bullet goes through the elevator door and hits the murderer outside. The boy loses consciousness. Then the murderer opens the elevator door and sees the men inside. Mr. Wright, you are truly the most unpredictable defense attorney I've ever known. I can tell you're grasping, yet I cannot deny the possibility of what you say. What are you saying? Deny it! Deny it! No one involved with the incident was wounded. There was no murderer. No one was wounded at the time of the incident. He's right. Can't think of anyone. Hey, Nick. Huh? I just thought of something really crazy. Crazy? How crazy? This whole case is crazy, so how crazy could you be? What is the level of craziness you were trying to achieve when everything is being crazy? So what's your point? Wait. It could only mean one thing. He was the man who shot Gregory Edgeworth. It was from Karma! Oh man. Something wrong, Mr. Wright? You seem dazed. No, Your Honor. Well, you have indicated the possibilities that the murderer came from outside. Can you give us the name of your suspect? Oh, should I come out and say it now? Let's say it now. Your Honor, there's a suspect. One lone suspect. Oh, this is certainly interesting news. Very well, Mr. Wright. Who is your suspect? My hands are shaking. What? Von Karma! Von Karma? You mean the Von Karma? The prosecutor? Sitting right there? Bah! You don't object? I see no need. Why on this ridiculous outburst with my objection? Because you took a vacation for several months starting the day after the incident. Yet you pride yourself on a perfect record. Why would you take such a long vacation without any reason? So you're claiming that I took a vacation to heal my injury from the incident. Fascinating. Prove it. I would have needed surgery, no? Where did I go under the knife, Mr. Wright? Bring in the doctor that operated on me. Have him testify. Nick, let's find out who his doctor is. It's no use. Edgeworth? I know Von Karma. Perhaps too well. He's perfect. He wouldn't leave clues. He probably didn't undergo surgery. That would leave a doctor as a witness. Nobody's that perfect. So what, Nick? Did Von Karma pull the bullet out by himself? That's insane. No, he couldn't have. You can't just go pull bullets out of yourself. Wait. What does that mean? That bullet has to be somewhere, but where? Well, Mr. Wright, can you produce evidence to prove that I was shot? I have an idea. Alright, Von Karma, I'll prove it. And I'll even use evidence. I know how you like it so much. What? The evidence that proves Von Karma was shot is very interesting. You see, we're gonna use the metal detector. Von Karma is perfect. He wouldn't risk surgery leaving an evidence trail. So then I ask, where is that bullet now? I think it highly unlikely that Von Karma performed surgery on himself. You don't mean? I do. There is a possibility that the bullet is still inside Von Karma. Is that even possible? For all these years? Well, there's only one way to find out. We could use this metal detector. Well, Von Karma, I'm going to run this over you and see what we find. Huh? That's different. Why are you grasping your shoulder, man? I refuse! You refuse? But refusing this means you acknowledge that the bullet is still inside you. Cornered! Order! Your Honor, the defense requests we be allowed to use the metal detector. Judge, I call for suspension of this trial. This is an invasion of privacy. The statute of limitations runs out on this case today. It was you who said we had to end it right here, right now. Enough. I permit the use of the metal detector. Mr. Von Karma, you will submit yourself to testing. Nick, what does this mean? I don't know, but we have to give it a shot. That was a little creepy, but something's in his right shoulder. The bullet. Oh yeah. Mr. Von Karma? You! It was you! I was afraid this would happen, and so I remained silent. Indeed, there is a bullet in my shoulder. However, it has nothing to do— You can't claim you got shot before we're claiming you got shot. It doesn't work that way. I was shot in the shoulder long before the DL6 incident. I claim that the bullet in my shoulder has no relation to DL6. You can't just do that. But, Mr. Von Karma, can you prove that? prove? I have no obligation to prove anything. It is you who must prove something here, Mr. Wright, not I. But Mr. Wright? Well, can you prove it? Can you prove that the bullet in Von Karma's shoulder was from DL6? Of course he can't. You don't have any of the DL6 evidence. Well, that's because you took it out of the records room yesterday, you dick. With no proof, you cannot convict me of any crime. So sorry, Mr. Wright. No, I'm the one who's sorry, Mr. Von Karma. What? You were close. 1 day away from freedom. You see, I have proof. What? Who would have thought you would have dug your own grave trying to convict Edgeworth? I can link that bullet in your shoulder to the DL6 incident. And here's my final proof. Take that! That's a bullet? Where did you get that? This is the bullet used in the DL6 incident. This was taken from the heart of the victim, Mr. Gregory Edgeworth. The bullet is preserved quite nicely, with all the ballistic markings intact. Ballistic markings? You may recall the term. It came up in the first trial 2 days ago. Ballistic markings are the fingerprints of a weapon, yada yada yada. All bullets fired from a gun are marked with that weapon's unique pattern, blah blah blah. By examining the markings, you can tell which weapon fired the bullet, yada yada yada. It's quite accurate, yada yada yada. We have 2 bullets in our possession. One, the bullet removed from Gregory Edgeworth's heart. The other, Mr. Von Karma, is the bullet buried in your shoulder. We could analyze both bullets. Then, if the markings matched, we would know that both bullets had been fired from the same gun. The very same pistol. Other words, the murder weapon that killed Gregory Edgeworth. Mr. Von Karma, you will let us remove the bullet from your shoulder. Then, we'll compare the ballistic markings to those on this bullet, and solve this case once and for all. Well, Mr. Von Karma! That scream. I've heard that scream before. Wait, I know. I can't breathe. Quiet, quiet. You're not making this any easier. Stop breathing my air. I'll stop you. Stop breathing my air. Get away. Get away from my father. Bang. It's that scream I heard in the elevator 15 years ago. But Karma, it was you who screamed. Mr. Von Karma? Edgeworth! Edgeworth! Only you would dare defy me. So, it was you. You and your father are my curse. Dude, chill. Your father shamed me with a penalty on my record. And you left a scar on my shoulder that would never fade. I'll bury you. I'll bury you with my bare hands. Death, death. 15 years earlier. Mr. Chief Prosecutor, I am sorry. And Karma, it's not like you to make this kind of error. I never would have thought Edgeworth would be the one to catch you. I was careless. I'm sorry, but you will have to be penalized. I've covered for you in the past, but not this time. Edgeworth! It was a shock like none I'd ever known. Me? Penalized? It took hours for me to regain my composure. Suddenly, I'd found myself in the darkness. I was in the court records room. I must have wandered there without thinking where I was going. The room was pitch black. The lights must have gone out. I went to the hall and found my way to the elevator. I pressed the button and nothing happened. Then, there was a noise. I was in pain, a horrible burning pain in my shoulder. Just then, the lights came back on. The elevator door opened before my eyes. saw 3 people inside, all lying unconscious from oxygen deprivation. Much to my surprise, a pistol lay at my feet. I knew then, it was destiny. In his last moment, Gregory Edgeworth was still unconscious. He died, never knowing who had shot him. Later, he spoke through a medium, blaming Mr. Yogi. He was fooled. It was the perfect crime. Who would have thought another man would have come and opened that elevator door? Judge? What? What are you doing? Do your job. Bring an end to this miserable charade. Now, end it. Very well. It appears that we have come to a very long way to the end of this maze. 15 years later, Mr. Miles Edgeworth? Yes, Your Honor? You were innocent. You are innocent. As you said, it was all a nightmare. Yes, Your Honor. This court finds the defendant, Mr. Miles Edgeworth, not guilty. Victory again. For real this time. Hopefully. That is all. This court is adjourned. Okay, victory for real this time. Oh yeah, we did it. We did it. Did you see his face? Funcoma looked even paler than usual. He's pretending to be all cool, but inside you crushed him. Crushed! We did more than crush him. We broke him. He doesn't exist anymore. That's pretty much all I gotta say. It was pretty close, though. I was sure we had it. I was in the very urge of tears my whole time myself. But now it's all just a good memory. Not even a good memory. I don't want to remember it. So it's finally over, Edgeworth. Right? Yeah? I'm not sure how to say this. I know. Try thank you? I see. Thank you, Wright. You're welcome. I think you could have done better than that. Sorry, I'm not good at this sort of thing. You need to get out more. You've got a lot to learn, Edgeworth. Dear, dear. Woo! Amazing, pal. You pulled through just like I thought you would. I'll never forget this. I owe you one, pal. And tonight, let's party. Dinner's on me. Yeah, my salary went down a bit this month, but who cares? See, Mr. Edgeworth, you should take a lesson from Detective Gumshoe. That's how you say thank you. I see. Whoa! I feel foolish. Don't worry, take it a little at a time. You'll get used to it. It's been 15 years since I've seen Edgeworth this unguarded. Hey y'all, hey Lotta. Thanks. Yo, Edgeworth, congrats. Thank you all very much. I knew you were innocent from the start, of course. Just look at you. You wouldn't stick your hand in the cookie jar even if no one was there. You were the witness on the first day of the trial, weren't you? Yeah, well, let bygones be bygones, eh? Speaking of which, what are you doing now, Lotta? Who, me? Oh, I went back to college. I gave up trying to be an investigative photographer pretty quick. Really? That's too bad. Huh? Isn't that the hot dog guy from the park? Huh? Larry! It's over, Nick. My life is over. Why the sad face, Larry? What happened now? Oh, Nick, I'm not long for this world. You don't look sick. It's Keontae. She's going to live in Paris. Paris, Nick! And if you notice, the bitter irony is that his first girlfriend in the game went to Paris. I don't think... I wonder if they did that on purpose. She's leaving me behind! Larry. Yo, Edgy, there you are. Yes, here I am. Congrats, Edgy. Here, a little gift from me in celebration. Celebration? That's unusual for you. Harry Butts, you come along tonight too. It's my treat, pal. Huh? Thanks. Looking forward to it. Yo, Nick. That's the suit that questioned me. When he says treat, that's not police talk for prison food, right? Right? I think you'll be fine, Larry. Right? Yeah? What's up? That envelope that Larry gave me. It's got money in it. Well, yeah, that's not that strange. People give money away to celebrate sometimes. It's $38, right? Huh, what a weird amount. I mean, it's not a little, but it's not a lot either. 38 exactly? Nick, wasn't that exactly the amount of lunch money that was stolen from Mr. Edgeworth in school? 38? No. No! Larry, it was you! What are you so surprised about, right? Huh? Larry was absent that day from school, right? But that doesn't automatically rule him out as a suspect. What? Think back to that day 15 years ago. Larry took the day off, but he was bored. He came into school anyway. Then he saw the money lying there, and the rest is history. I never was good at history. Edgeworth, you didn't know, did you? I suspected. I just couldn't picture Larry protecting you like he did that day. Everyone else was saying you did it. The whole class was against you, remember? Yeah, too well. Right, you may not know this, but we used to have a saying back in school. When something smells, it's usually the butt. I know. Really, Wright? I'm surprised you didn't figure it out. Well, this is sure an unexpected turn of events, eh? Edgeworth? You should have told me. Now, Nick, it was 15 years ago. Don't you think the statute of limitations has run out, Mr. Edgeworth? I'd say so, yes. There you have it. Grrr. Where does that leave me? I became a defense attorney because of what you two did. Well, I call you goody two-shoes to the extreme. Yeah, and you get worked up too easily, too. Death! The death sentence for the both of you. Man, if only I'd known I'd become a prosecutor. The same goes for me, only the other way around. For the longest time, I thought that I might have killed my own father. I thought I might be a criminal. I became a prosecutor in part to punish myself. If I had known the truth, I might have become a defense attorney after all. Edgeworth. Want to switch, right? Hey, y'all. Line up. I'll take a photo. Hey, photo time. Let's go. And after that, dinner's on me. Detective Gumshoe took us on the night of the town that night. We celebrated Edgeworth's newfound freedom, although Edgeworth was still in detention. Whoa, I went a little overboard yesterday. My head hurts. Huh? It's only 5. Maybe I should go back to sleep. What's this? A letter? From Maya? Why, thank you. What? Without even saying goodbye? No, we can't let you do this. Goodbye? What time is it? Gah, the first train for the mountains has already left. To the station! I guess I'm too late. Maya! So, you're leaving? Yeah. It's hard being a spirit medium who can't talk to spirits, and I think you'll do fine without me, Nick. Be good, okay? Hold it! But wait! I think screaming hold it was good enough. I never could have... Yeah, true statement right there. That is a fact. On the last day of the trial, I heard her. I heard Mia's voice. You heard my sister? Yeah, only her voice, but still. It was at the very end when I thought we'd lost everything. Well, that's my sister for you. Detective Gumshoe helped, Mr. Grossberg, and even Larry. I'm the only one who could... No! Stop lying! But you were the most important person. Stop lying! My mouse. Well, thanks to you doing a thanks to a certain thing that you did in order to protect us. Take that! A bullet? when Karma was convinced he had taken all of the evidence pertaining to the DL6. But you were the one who rescued this last piece of evidence we needed when he tried to taser us to death. The bullet that put an end to Von Karma. Literally. Huh? You're coming back? We'll be waiting. I don't know about that. Ah, the train is leaving. So, bye. Adios, Maya. And so, my story ends. Time to turn a new page. And say goodbye to the novice defense attorney that I once was. And a new story begins. With the same old crazy cast of characters. Ha! Don't think you've graduated yet, amateur. Mr. Wright, perhaps you want to rethink that claim? Yes, Your Honor. Oh, got a bad feeling about this. Objection!